make it a better place. It'll take creation.
Hi, it's Karen Gilbert from Simply Said with Karen, and thank you for joining me today. I have some new products that I want to share with you, and these are the Carols of Christmas and the Card Front Builder Thinlit dies. These will be available in the holiday catalog starting September the 1st, but you will have the opportunity to purchase either the stamp set or the Thinlits or a bundle at 10% off starting August the 1st. So I'd like to show you a few things that I've done with this set and then take you through a card making session. Before I start with the card, I'd like to talk about the stamp set for a bit. It's called the Carols of Christmas. It has two large stamps, one of them Peace on Earth and Deck the Halls. Plus it has two sets of ornaments, a set of leaves, a poinsettia, a deer, and some mistletoe. I guess that's holly, sorry. And then some really little stamps that you can use to add some interest to your card. While this is just like an ordinary stamp set, except it's Christmas, the Thinlits are called Card Front Builder Thinlits. And you can make various card fronts for your cards, and I'm going to just show you some of the cards that I've done with this Builder Thinlit. So this is the first one I did, and you'll notice that it is only three-sided, and so that's where I started. And I just lined it up on the cardstock like that, and then ran it through my Big Shot with the precision plate. And after you've run it through the Big Shot, use your foam pad and the Big Shot brush to get it out of the Thinlit. So on this one, I've cut out, this is the set of trees. There's 3 trees, and they're all, 2 of them are joined together and one is single on its own. And what I did with this one was I cut trees from Whisper White cardstock and then cut another set of trees from the Garden Green cardstock and put them together with a little bit of the white showing, and then finished it off with a chalk pen just to add some interest. This is the holly, and it has a framelit to go with the stamp. The next one, I used the card builder, or the 3-sided framelit, Thinlit, to construct this card. And you'll notice this time I have the border going all the way across the white, Whisper White panel. Now, to get that lined up, you'll notice that there are a set of holes here, and whether or not you want to do 2 sets of holes, that's your preference. I preferred to do only 1 set, so I'll show you how to line that up. Just do your regular cutting, and then when you go to turn it around and do the other side, what you need to do is make sure that these holes down here are aligned with the holes in the framelit. So you would use these 2 little holes on either side to align it so that you have a complete border. And then this card, I stamped the background with the ornaments and stamped another set of the ornaments and embossed them with gold embossing powder. And I'll never do this again, but I tied little bows for all the ornaments from the metallic gold thread. Adds to the versatility of this set, because what I did here was I just stamped the from the Deck the Halls stamp on real red cardstock and then heat embossed it with the gold. There are also 2 corner pieces that you can use to die cut the corners of your card. You would just lay these pieces on your cardstock and send them through the Big Shot, and you can do 2 corners at a time, like that. The poinsettia, you stamp it, and you can die cut it with this poinsettia right here in the center of the corner piece, and there is a die cut for the leaf. The card that we're going to use uses the last piece that you can do a card front with, and it has the moon and stars, etc. on it, and that's what we're going to use. Let's get started on our card, and I'll show you how we're going to set this up. The first thing we're going to do is I'm going to use a piece of designer series paper from Naturally Eclectic designer series paper, and this one, I'll show you the whole sheet because it's great. It has watercolor looking background, and it goes from a darker blue to a pale to the green. So I thought that would be excellent for the background for this card. I did do some cutting out. I lined up the Thinlit that has the excuse me, the moon on it, and die cut that from the darker blue. I lined up the trees on the bottom and die cut those out, and that left me with the cutout part. So what I did, I wanted to make them sparkly. I wanted to use the Dazzling Diamonds. I used a product that has come back to us. It's the adhesive sheets, and these are excellent for using with your Thinlits and not having to use an adhesive. When you put the adhesive sheet onto your paper, put it onto the side that you want to put the Dazzling Diamonds on, as I have in this. So this is the back of the designer series paper. This was the front, and this is where I put the adhesive on so that the Dazzling Diamonds would attach to it. So I'm just going to take off the adhesive, or the backing to the adhesive. So we now have a sticky tree. I'm going to take the Dazzling Diamonds and just put it into the Dazzling Diamonds, and now I have a very sparkly tree. Just set those aside. Now this piece of designer series paper is 3 3/3 by 5 inches. And now we'll start building our card. I have a piece of Night of Navy here. It's 3 1/4 by 3 1/4, and I'm going to run that through the Big Shot with the Stitch Shapes framelits, and it's the largest circle. I have the same size piece of silver foil. It's 3 1/4 by 3 1/4. I've used one of the large scallop circles. I'm just going to go run this through the Big Shot, and I'll be right back. I have this circle that's been die cut with the Stitch Shapes framelits, and I'm going to silver emboss Peace on Earth. I take my embossing buddy, and my Versamark. The stamp set is Peace on Earth is what I'm using. Ink that up with your Versamark, and then stamp your Night of Navy. Use your silver embossing powder and sprinkle that all over the word. So I'll go off and heat set that now. Now I've heat embossed the Peace on Earth, and it's all nice and shiny. I'm going to mount it on the silver foil that I pre-cut, and I'm going to use dimensionals And I'm going to use one of our new products. These are the mini dimensionals, and they're great. So I'm just going to put a few on the back. Okay, there's definitely something going on with the camera operator today. Anyways, what I did was I put a piece of the smoky slate panel on the Whisper White card front, and it measured 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. Then I layered pieces of the green on behind the cutout layer and a piece of blue behind the cutout layer. Now these are what was left over when I cut this panel, which is 3 1/4 by 5 inches. Now we're going to attach our sentiment, which has been stamped and heat embossed with silver and layered on silver foil. So we're going to put it about there. We have our sparkly trees that we did with the dazzling diamonds. I'll just get the backing off these dimensionals. Love these little mini dimensionals. Saves a bit of aggravation from cutting the bigger ones in half. There's still the problem of getting the backing off. Now I'm going to layer this and just offset it a tad, and it's going to sit there so that the top of the tree is above the cutout tree and lays on the Piece on Earth panel. Layer that on the double cutout tree, and again it's going to extend beyond and onto the circle. Now the last thing we're going to do is put 3 little deer on there that are wandering through the woods on a starry night, and I've stamped these in early espresso and die cut them, and they're on crumb cake cardstock. Remove the dimensionals and just put them wherever you like them to be. Last but not least, we're going to put some rhinestones on the Night of Navy panel, just to give it a little bit more sparkle. Who doesn't like sparkles? So I've just put 3 little ones on there, and your card is finished. So give this a try. Don't forget that you can start ordering this in August the 1st, and it'll make a great addition to your Christmas card supplies, stamp sets, and die cuts, and I'm sure that whoever receives this card will thoroughly enjoy it. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you next time.
I am, watch the door.